So we all seen Ilia Topuria flatline Charles Oliveira, and in the post-fight interview, Joe Rogan asked Ilia Topuria who's on his mind, and he finally mentioned the guy who had the back problems. And we all knew he was talking about Arman Tsarukyan. Joe Rogan immediately though, of course, so predictable. You mean Paddy Pimblett? Yeah, he talked about Paddy for a brief second, but he ended it with Arman. Completely predictable, that's hilarious. Typical Joe Rogan to do. Joe Rogan didn't even make that call. UFC told him, hey, bring Paddy Pimblett in. Let's avoid Arman. The UFC is avoiding Arman like the plague lately. I want to see a real #1 contenders fight. I'm talking Paddy Pimblett versus Arman Tsarukyan. We need to book this shit right now. These guys don't like each other. And it started weeks ago, months ago. Paddy Pimblett called Arman a posh boy. Whatever the hell that is. Some English slang. And then Arman Tsarukyan calls him a clown. Let's read it off right here. Paddy Pimblett says this to Arman. He's just a little posh boy who's had everything handed to him. He's a little bitch ass. Arman, you shit your pants. You farted and followed through. That's what Paddy said to Arman. Pretty damn funny. I'm surprised he didn't call him a sausage. Now Arman responds to Paddy, says the guy who got the easiest path to the top in UFC, just because he's got a funny accent and a budget Beatles haircut. He should have brought back the baby hair. Where's that haircut at, Paddy? We're getting sick of the cornrows. Just because he's got a funny accent and a budget Beatles haircut. I dare you to call me out, and we will see who will shit his pants in the octagon when we meet, clown. And look at the comments here. I mean, everyone is believing Arman would beat Paddy. Arman would play with Paddy. Arman would literally eat Paddy alive. Not gonna lie, Arman kinda cooked here. Paddy's biggest win is Bobby Green. Since then, he beat Chandler. Oh, big deal, Michael Chandler. Who hasn't beat Michael Chandler? But we gotta see this fight. But I'm really worried for this fight because of quotes like this. Paddy Pimblett is talking crazy. He's talking as if Arman doesn't deserve it. Since we're reading off Paddy quotes here, we might as well keep it going. This was way more recent. No one cares about Arman. He's an absolute tool. My next opponent, more than likely, will be Justin Gaethje. Come on. You can clearly see that they're trying to eliminate Arman out of the whole picture. They don't want Arman anywhere near Paddy Pimblett. And it's getting pretty annoying. We gotta go to the post-fight interview. We all seen this. But look how Joe Rogan, pay attention closely how Joe Rogan completely avoids what Ilia says about Arman. And he immediately says, you're talking about Paddy, huh?
I don't know, whoever is ready for me, I'm here. Let's fight. If you're ready, I'm here.
You're talking about Paddy Pimblett.
If he was talking about Paddy Pimblett, he would mention the name Paddy Pimblett. Joe Rogan's putting words in people's mouths now. He's putting words in his mouth. We gotta play it again. Listen to this.
In this arena, there is a blonde. There is.
Okay. Ilia just said there's a blonde bitch. He's talking about Paddy.
There is a guy that when it comes to the liver, his back hurts. So.
And then Ilia just said there's a guy when it comes to the, I forgot what word he said, his back hurts. He's talking about Arman. He ended it talking about Arman, but the only thing that Joe Rogan clings on to is he said the blonde guy. He mentioned Paddy for a brief second. You know, Joe Rogan could have been neutral. He could have been like, you're talking about Paddy and Arman. But the UFC told him in his ear, yo, just bring in Paddy, bring in Paddy. Which is hilarious. Dana acted like he didn't want him to do that. But let's just watch.
I don't know, whoever is ready for me, I'm here. Let's fight. If you're ready, I'm here. Let's fight. If the liver, his back hurts. So I don't know, whoever is ready for me, I'm here. Let's fight. If you're ready, I'm here.
You're talking about Paddy Pimblett.
Paddy Pimblett has never said his back hurts. He's talking about Arman. He mentioned Paddy for a split second right before. Hilarious. Hilarious. And there's Paddy. There he is. Like he didn't expect this to happen. Oh my gosh.
Like to defend your title against first.
Listen,
I like Paddy. Nothing against Paddy. But Joe Rogan's clearly putting words in Ilia Topuria's mouth here. Ilia's talking about Paddy's talking about Arman. But Joe Rogan immediately just pretends that everything Ilia is saying is directed only at Paddy.
I don't think that he's gonna accept it. But if he thinks that he's ready, come on, you blonde. Bring that here. If he wants, bring that here. Bring him here.
Man, this is crazy because Arman's in the crowd. They put the camera on Arman for 1 second. I kid you not, just one split second, they put the fucking crowd cam on Arman. But you could tell clearly that they're trying to get Arman out of the picture. They don't want Arman anywhere near title talk. They don't want him anywhere near the #1 contender fight. They offered him what was that opponent they offered him not too long ago? Was it Gamrot? They offered him Gamrot on an Apex fight night. But now it looks like they're offering Paddy a title shot coming off a win against Chandler. Pretty sure they're going to make him fight Gaethje. But this is just playing chess right here. They call Paddy in. They make everybody forget about Arman. After this, they're going to shortly book Paddy vs. Gaethje. Believe me, it's coming. Paddy Pimblett vs. Justin Gaethje. And they're just going to keep offering Arman like little fight nights, Apex cards, against Gamrot, stuff like that. But he's not included in the circus. But yeah, they bring in Paddy. Here he goes. Yep. He walks in. Here it is.
You will never knock me out.
Here it is. How does Paddy think he's here? And he thinks Arman's down here. When Arman's resume looks better. Arman has Charles Oliveira on his resume. Paddy has Michael Chandler on his resume.
You live. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my balls in your
You can't knock me.
And once Ilia pushes Paddy, no one's even thinking about Arman. Everything's going to plan. Everything.
Get
knocked out.
You get knocked out.
I finish you. I finish you, little man.
Get from here.
I finish you.
Paddy versus Arman. I want to see it. But here's the issue.
If he wants to assure his title shot,
He's talking about Paddy, by the way. He said if Paddy wants to assure his title shot,
if he wants to assure his title shot, he has to fight with Justin Gaethje, because if he fights with Arman, I think that Arman's gonna beat him.
that's what I'm saying. The champ said it himself. If you don't believe my word, if you're not taking my word, believe Ilia. He's just proving my point even further.
If he wants to assure his title shot, he has to fight with Justin Gaethje, because if he fights with Arman, I think that Arman's gonna beat him. So the easiest path he has right now to get the title shot is Justin.
Look what Charles Oliveira did to Gaethje. Look at Gaethje getting mauled on the ground by Charles Oliveira. You won't find a video of Arman getting mauled on the ground by Charles Oliveira.
Keep landing the right hand.
This is not good. You can't
get him.
You can't take the arm. Yeah, he's gonna take his arm. Oh my goodness.
Look, Charles has his arm. I mean, he has complete control over Gaethje. Gaethje's helpless. Look what Gaethje tries to do to get out of this position. He puts himself in a worse position on the ground. He does the work for you.
Justin's in a lot of trouble here. I mean, this Charles Oliveira, man. I mean, Rogan, this guy's triangle.
Charles has a figure 4 triangle wrapped around Justin Gaethje. But Justin Gaethje's like, you know what? That's too hard of a submission. Let me make it even easier on you. Let me just give you a rear naked choke.
He's got a triangle too. This Oliveira is this. Oh my goodness, he can't let him take his back. Oh, he's got the choke. He's got You got to do it. It's over.
Fully locked in. It's over.
Oliveira's under the chin.
Oh my goodness.
Switches up the grip.
He's going to go to sleep.
Oh my
That is
goodness.
gonna do it.
This dude right here.
Paddy Pimblett is watching this video, licking his chops, thinking, wow, I'm going to have a field day on the ground. If I take Justin Gaethje down, I am going to have a field day choking him out, putting him to sleep. I mean, look at this. Charles did it. Habib did it. You're not going to find a video of Arman Tsarukyan getting done like this in the UFC. You're not. Charles had Arman in a couple guillotines, and Arman broke out of all of them. Charles had Arman in a darce. He survived. Charles couldn't pull it off. Charles could not do this to Arman. But he did it to Gaethje, and he did it in one round. If Paddy gets a Gaethje fight, his record's going to look fluffed. His record is going to look fluffed up. Robbery against Jared Gordon. Beat up an old Bobby Green, old Tony Ferguson, old Chandler. Gaethje at the end of his career. How about two guys in their prime fight, face off? If Paddy wins, then we could do this fight. Then we could have some fun. But earn it. It won't be fun unless you earn it. That's my 2 cents on it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.